Hi everyone, my name is Kendrick and welcome to Travel and Live Free. In this video, we're gonna cover my country number 26 to visit every single country in the world, and that country is India. When I left Canada to travel around the world for 1 year, I never planned to go to India. But while I was in Thailand, I noticed that India is really close to Thailand and that one of my mission is to visit every single wonders of the world. And one of the wonders in the world is Taj Mahal, which is located in India. So as a spur of the moment kind of decision, I decided to apply for the visa to go to India, and I was approved after a long process of applying for that visa. So I took an Air India flight from Bangkok all the way to New Delhi, and the first thing I noticed is that Indian people are really friendly. The flight attendant in the plane took a selfie with me. It was quite a fun experience. But the Air India plane was pretty empty also, which made me wonder how they can make money if their flights doesn't have that many passengers. Now, I know India has a lot of scams, so the first thing that I did after I went through immigration in the New Delhi airport was that I did not go to any taxis that they were selling inside the airport. I went outside the airport and further out in the airport, and I found this little random booth in the middle of the road. And this booth in the middle of the road was selling the much cheaper taxi ride to go to my hostel. Now, the taxi ride to my hostel was an adventure on its own because our taxi driver actually hit other cars at least twice and he didn't even stop. And I noticed that this seems to be the normal thing in India where people would hit each other with their vehicle. And I look outside and I noticed that all the cars outside had scratches and dents on the side of the car. So it's like when you're driving in New Delhi, expect to play bumper cars and no one is gonna be upset when you hit another car. By the time I got to my hostel, the first thing that I did, besides settling in my dorm room, was trying to arrange a trip to Taj Mahal the next day. Unfortunately for me, in order for the hostel to run a trip to the Taj Mahal, enough backpackers have to agree to go on a trip to the Taj Mahal. And unfortunately for me, I wasn't able to rally enough people to go to the Taj Mahal with me the next day. So in my head, I thought to myself, okay, I think I have to take the train from New Delhi to Agra and figure out what to do once I get to Agra. The next day, I got an Uber to take me to the train station, and 3 other backpackers decided that they would also be going to the train station, so we all took the Uber at the same time. 2 of the other backpackers that came with me to the Uber ride actually wanted to go to the Taj Mahal that same day. So we agreed to team up and go see Taj Mahal. It's basically these 2 girls that lives in the US, and they both work for Uber, which is quite funny. Now, one of the girls is actually Nepalese, and she spoke the local language they spoke in India, which actually helped us out a lot when we got to Agra. After we left the Uber and went towards the train station, we were already swarmed by touts trying to sell us stuff, but we managed to fend them off and found our train, which we then took to go to Agra. Okay, so I'm in the train here at New Delhi. I'm on my way to Agra, and we'll see how this goes. This place is a huge gong show, but it's kind of interesting, it's kind of funny also. I think I'm taking the express bus, so it should take about 2 hours to get there. Anyways, we'll get back to you soon. The train ride was pretty pleasant, and by the time we got to Agra, one of my companions bargained with a taxi driver to take us to see the Taj Mahal and also to see the Agra Fort and then back to the train station.
समाजवादी पार्टी मुलायम सिंह अखिलेश यादव की पार्टी है ना, उसमें अमिताभ बच्चन की वाइफ जे भादरी और कुछ लोग आए हुए हैं आगरा में। उसकी रैली निकल रही है और इधर ये मायावती की रैली निकल रही है। यहीं से आपके पीछे गाय डोकर वगैरह लग जाएंगे तो अपना पर्स, कैमरा, कैंडीन, चॉकलेट.
So off we went to the Taj Mahal and we purchased ourselves a ticket, and by the time, and there was actually a guy that was harassing us while we were in Taj Mahal trying to sell us his tour service, and he followed us for quite a long time, and it was one of the funniest experience I've had dealing with a tout during my 1 year trip, because I managed to deflect all his attempt to try to sell us something, and instead I flipped the script and I said to him, "Hey man, guess what? You're a really smart guy, you're really talented, I can see you have a bright future ahead of you, but we're just not the right people for you to try to sell your service. I think you should instead go to those people that look like they're rich. Those Europeans, they look like they're rich. I think you should go to them instead." So he started laughing his ass off and he went to those older Europeans to try to sell them his service. And my companions were laughing also. They're like, "I can't believe you just fended off that tout with so much grace And even I was surprised at how well I handled that situation. After we purchased our ticket to Taj Mahal, there was an option to hire a tour guide, and we did hire a tour guide. And this tour guide was fantastic. He showed us around the Taj Mahal, showed us the best places to take pictures, and he was even funny. He would go up to other tourists and like, hey, move out of the way, so that we could take the best pictures. I had a good time hanging out with the two companions that I met in the Uber ride, which now became my friends. And we had a great time taking pictures of the Taj Mahal, and the Taj Mahal is one of my favorite 7 wonders of the world. After checking out the Taj Mahal and having a great time in that place, the next place that we went to was this restaurant, which I'm pretty sure was being paid a commission through our taxi driver, but it was fine, the food was clean, and we were okay to eat it. And my biggest concern was getting deli belly, and that didn't happen, so I'm glad. I'm more than happy to pay the price that we paid, as long as I don't get sick. Next, we went to Agra Fort, but I actually had to catch my train ride at this point, so I had to split up from my companions. I took some picture outside the Agra Fort, and then we went our separate ways. Now, my train ride back to New Delhi was actually delayed, and this time I would be taking a sleeper train back to New Delhi. Now, the sleeper train was a weird experience because by the time I got to the sleeper train, there was some Indian people sitting on my spot, so I just quietly sat beside them. Before long, they moved out of the seat and I was able to lay down on this sleeper train. By the time I got back to New Delhi, I took a tuk-tuk ride back to my hostel, and it was freezing outside because I traveled there during February and I was just wearing shorts. So the tuk-tuk ride back to my hostel was quite lengthy and I was freezing in this tuk-tuk. That evening, I got the chance to hang out with some other backpackers, and I don't normally drink, but this Indian backpacker bought me a beer and we just had some time drinking some beer. The next day was my last day in India, and I just made friends with everyone in the hostel, and I had some of the best conversation ever hanging out with other people that was backpacking in India. One of the funniest conversations I had was with this American guy that had lower back issues, and turns out he was a RMT in the US. So I had a lacrosse ball that he can use to trigger point those tight muscles, and he was shocked. Like, of all places that he would find a lacrosse ball to get rid of those tight knots in his muscle, it would be in India in a random backpacker hostel. So he was super happy. I made friends with that guy, and actually I got a chance to visit him in Seattle where he lives right now. So it's always neat to go backpacking and then go visit those friends that you meet through backpacking in their home country later on. Anyways, I had a fantastic time in India. Although I'm not sure if I would go back because I had such a good experience, I don't know if I want to ruin it. A lot of people who go to India, it's usually a hit or miss. They either have a great time or they have a bad time because they either get deli belly or they get scammed quite a bit. My sister also went to India and she loved it. And maybe for us, it's one of those once in a lifetime adventure to India. And it was well worth it, and I have no regrets, and I love going to India. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments below. And don't forget to sign up to the Travel and Live Free newsletter, where you can get a extensive cheat sheet on how to travel around the world. You'll also get the latest tips and strategies on how to save money on travel for Canadians, how to go on an around the world adventure travel for Canadians, and how to use travel to get more freedom in your life as a Canadian. You can sign up for the newsletter in the description below. Until next time, I'll see you then.